I think it's important that you know that all the refreshments on the table are from local businesses. So we have tea from Tea's Wellness. We have coffee from Equator. And those little donuts were made fresh this morning at Susie Q. They're called Cuties. So please, before you leave, eat them. There's also a small selection, though I think they're all gone, a small selection of vegan and gluten-free cookies from Strawberry Blonde. Anyway, okay, so that was a digression. Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Colleen O'Connell-Campbell. I'm a wealth advisor at RBC Dominion Securities and the host of the Cash Rich Exit podcast. But first and foremost, I'm a human being. I know that's a surprise, I'm not a robot. I'm a human being. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a friend. And like many of you, I have some lived experience with my mental health and mental health in general. I'm grateful and humbled to be here as the host sponsor for Courageous Conversations with Entrepreneurs, part of the Dare to Be Vulnerable programming. I know how vital these conversations are. 20 years ago, my brother Danny, he became an angel to suicide. That loss forever changed me. My mental health journey, though, is my whole lifetime, as it is with everyone here. A few other things. 31 years ago, I lost my mother to a brain aneurysm. And before that, or really for the bulk of my godmother's life, I watched her struggle with bipolar. She was diagnosed in the 70s. That's when mental health was wrapped up in even greater stigma today, as evidenced by the fact that my grandfather told my grandmother, "It's your fault." Like it's nobody's fault, right? My story is one of, maybe you can relate to it. Early in my career, as a wealth advisor, I had to juggle a young family, a young business, and profound grief. So I already told you about my brother. In a 12-month period, I lost my brother. I lost my maternal grandmother, and I lost my godmother. I wasn't sleeping. I was hyper-vigilant, constantly on edge, and I found myself overwhelmed, yet expected to continue growing a business and leading. I felt alone in the journey and responsible for others, and what was I going to do? Luckily, I had an epiphany one day and called EAP. And from there, I sought counseling, and in that acute period of time, I needed sleep. And so I was prescribed a low dose of medication, and it worked. It helped me get through that period. And from then on, I've really looked at self-care as very important. It's not a buzzword. It's a foundation for our health. Never mind our mental health, for our overall health. I've committed myself to breaking the stigma surrounding mental illness, depression, and suicide. A particular story stands out for me around my brother's funeral. We were making arrangements with the funeral director, and he suggested that Danny be dressed up in a suit and tie. He was 24 years old. He almost never wore a suit and tie, t-shirt and jeans, right? My sister and I were adamant. Danny hated wearing suits, and we knew that if we dressed him in one, it wouldn't be true to him. The funeral director warned us, there's going to be visible marks on his neck from the manner in which he had passed away, the manner in which he became an angel, and that's going to be unsettling to others. We just couldn't stand for that. So he was laid to rest in a t-shirt. And unbeknownst to me, that was the moment when I embraced speaking openly about mental illness. It's not easy. We've often heard this said now that mental health is just part of our health, but it wasn't a normal part of our vernacular for a long time. A year ago, at an event called Soirée Solace, a fundraiser for Ottawa Solace, and another incredible organization here in Ottawa that provides housing for those who live in the community with persistent and challenging mental health issues. It's been around for 40 years. I'm currently on the board. At this particular event, I ran into Dr. Susan Farrell, who I met when I was part of the Women for Mental Health philanthropic program at the Royal Ottawa Foundation for Mental Health, and part of the time when I was on the board. She's now the CEO of the Canadian Mental Health Association here in Ottawa. During our conversation, she said to me, Colleen, a number of years ago, you introduced me, and in that conversation, you said, you were one of the first people that I heard say, everybody has mental health. And I know we're saying that very commonly now, but it's still new. Bear with me, I have another story to tell you. I've spoken in front of groups like this before, and time and again I've tried this exercise, which I'm not going to do, I'm just going to summarize it for you, where I've asked everybody to stand up. And then I've said, everyone who's standing up, I want you to now sit down if you have personally struggled with your mental health. And then I've just gone through a list. Listen, do you have a parent, a grandparent, a friend, a sibling, a colleague, all the way through the list of people that you might know? And by the end, nobody's standing. We know the statistic of potentially 1 in 5 people who are struggling with mental health. But the reality is that we are all affected by it. It's powerful. Every single person in this room has a story. As CEO, founder, business owners, leaders, business leaders, we often can feel that we need to project our strength and confidence and resilience. But real leadership also requires honesty about the weight we carry and the struggles we face. It can feel isolating, but when we share our stories, we can realize we're not alone. The more we speak openly, the more we can normalize these conversations, and that's how we begin to break down stigma. I made it my mission to continue telling my story and to encourage others to do the same. To advocate for mental wellness, because mental health isn't something that we should be thinking about when we're struggling. We should be thinking about it every day. And it's, by the way, not one particular day. I've lost track of what day is this and what day is that. It's part of our everyday life. Dare to be vulnerable is about creating spaces where we can show up fully as ourselves, share our stories, whether they feel big or small, and create a ripple effect that encourages others to do the same. So thank you all for being here today and being willing to listen. Thank you to the panel for sharing your stories. Thank you so much to Susan Blaine for inviting me. I am deeply grateful to sponsor and host today's Courageous Conversations with Entrepreneurs. This space is for all of us.